So I don't know when CNN decided to have base people on their show, but I was shocked to see this video of the panelists just destroying the Kamala Harris campaign. Here's that video.
In all these speeches, as good as they were, is that she's in the White House right now. Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years. And for all of the talk about division and the problems in the country and people are hurting, Democrats have mostly controlled this country. Trump had it for 4. The Obamas and Biden had it for the rest of the time. And somehow, it's still all Trump's fault, and somehow she hasn't been at the center of it. So to me, that's still the glaring hole in this campaign that hasn't yet been solved at the convention.
So this is exactly right. The problem that Democrats have is they just spent the whole DNC talking about the legacy of Obama, the legacy of Joe Biden. But then at the same time, there's this narrative that there are all these problems. And you look at the last 12 years and you're like, wait, the last 16 years, excuse me. And you're looking and you're like, well, 12 of those years were Obama and Biden, and my life is definitely not better than it was, say, in 2008. So who's to blame? It's you guys, the people in charge, and people have pointed this out in different ways, talking about how Kamala Harris is promising certain problems, but she's currently in the administration. But I also think it's helpful to take it back, the last 16 years. It's not just about the last 4 years, because a lot of people will be like, well, it ebbs and it flows. Sometimes the Republicans screw it up. Sometimes the Democrats screw it up. No. The last 16 years, 12 of those years have been ruled by Democrats. So if we've seen massive problems over the last 16 years, it's pretty safe to assume it's been the Democrats, making those problems more than the Democrats. And people do see that, by the way. I mean, they see this. I don't think they're blind to it. I think the group that supports RFK Jr., which I know a lot of my viewers do support RFK Jr., as well as Trump, of course. But I think the people who support RFK Jr. are seeing this because they want an alternative. Why am I going to vote for someone when the last 16 years hasn't been that good for me? I think it's one of the reasons why an RFK Jr. endorsement would be so fantastic for Donald Trump, who I want to win. And I think he will on Friday, but I think it would make a massive difference for the race, because that's the narrative is, do you want it to be like the last 16 years? If you do, then you can go vote for Kamala Harris. It hasn't been that great for me, so I'm voting for something a little bit newer. And that's true for Trump as well as RFK Jr. if he's included in Trump's cabinet, which, if he endorses him, it's pretty safe to assume that there'd be something like that. There are dumb Americans out there for sure, by the way. I know that some people are not going to hear that message, but I think there's a massive number of Americans that just want something a little bit different, and they're sick of the Biden-Obama thing. I don't remember the exact statistic on this, but it was something like every single election except one since the mid-'80s has had a Biden, a Bush, or an Obama in it. And that is crazy to think about how much of a hold the political establishment has on America. It's literally been 30 years of Bushes, Obamas, and Bidens. People don't want it anymore. They just can't have the average 4% inflation every year. They can't have immigrants taking their homes and jobs. They want some sort of normalcy, or at least a president, by the way, who cares about them and not Ukrainians or Mexican immigrants. And by the way, I love Mexicans and I love Ukrainians, but the United States president has loyalty to one group and one group only, and that is American people. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.